I was able to get from this to this.
Did that count?
In about a year and a half to 2 years. I probably increased my vertical by about 12 to 15 inches since the beginning, and 2 years does sound like a long time. You probably want to increase your vertical now. But if I'm being real, I think I could have made this progress in about a year instead of 2. And that's only if I started doing the right things since the beginning. And in this video, I'm going to tell you what those things are. So let me just state the obvious first. You want to get stronger, you want to get faster, you want to get explosive, and you want to be able to produce a lot of force really fast. We do that through strength training and plyometrics and periodization and jumping a lot. Now that we got that covered, stop overcomplicating it being your training. You don't necessarily need a super organized routine to start. And to be honest, only the most elite coaches really know how to program an efficient routine. So my best advice for you is to just start. Whether it's finding a workout on YouTube or Google or experimenting it on your own, grab a few tips from trustworthy athletes and coaches online and try it out. When I first started, I grabbed a bunch of random plyo exercises from Google and put it all together. I didn't really understand how to train. I didn't really have any training background. All I did before was play basketball. Never really worked out like that. Of course, getting a program from experts is the most ideal. So if you got the money and you're committed, give programs like THP a try. But these vertical jump programs are pretty pricey. So for most people, this is the most realistic option. Find a workout that you like online and do that for a few weeks. And the longer you do train, you're eventually going to learn more about your body and vertical jump training. Have jump sessions. This may or may not be obvious, but I was kind of surprised that a lot of people just work out and never really had a jump session, and they expected to increase the vertical like that. While just working out can increase your vertical by a little bit, if you never have a jump session at all, then you're not going to be able to maximize your potential. Hey, that was me before. You got to jump higher. So have days specifically for max intent jumps, like grabbing the rim, or dunking on low rims, or dunking on 10 feet, or catching lobs. No workouts or anything. Just a warm up and a dunk or jump session. There was a time where I was in a plateau for a really long time. Once I started incorporating jump sessions every week, I saw a huge spike in my vertical. I got more comfortable with jumping, my technique got better, and I noticed that I was starting to jump higher. So yeah, the more you jumped and attempt dunks or jumps, the better your technique will get and the more comfortable you'll be jumping and dunking on the court. Stay healthy. I can't emphasize this enough. Please take care of your body, even if you're healthy, even if you feel like you could handle a lot. Make injury prevention a priority by not ego lifting, not progressing too fast, not overdoing it with the volume, and strengthening all your muscles. Also do isometrics every day. That's one of the best things you could do for knee health in general. Injuries could take away months of progress because of mistakes that could easily be prevented. It's not all about training hard. You gotta train smart too, and you gotta know when to stop and when to go hard. Stay consistent. Staying consistent is another obvious tip, but it's one of the most common reasons people don't see an increase in their vertical. They don't stick with their training long enough. They go at it for about a month and expect progress that people usually see in about a year. Then they stop because their training is not working how they'd like it to work. Being patient is the best virtue to have in training, because this is a long ass journey. You gotta stick with it. Trust the process. Learn something new after each workout. What I mean by this is figuring out what works for you and what doesn't. Once I started to understand more about training and more about my body and things that work for me, it made it easier for me to train and understand what I'm doing. You don't have to learn anything too crazy. Think about why we want to move at certain tempos. When is it best to train your eccentric strength? When is it best to train your power? And think about why these certain exercises you're doing helps you jump higher. The more I learned and studied about athletic training and jump training, the more efficiently I was able to work out. I began to understand what I shouldn't do, which things were a waste of time, how much volume is enough, and how much volume is too much. Why we want to train things like the stretch shortening cycle, or why we want to have stiff tendons. The more you work out and the more invested you're in jumping and dunking, you're subconsciously going to learn more about all of these things. And that's how I was able to increase my vertical by 12 to 15 inches. I didn't want to give a workout or anything because there are tons of workouts out there. Great ones too. But I just wanted to talk about what worked for me. And doing all of these things helped for me. I just wanted to let you know that vertical training isn't just about the workouts. You got to be smart about some things. You got to know when to not do something or when to do something. I don't know. I feel like all of these things would help you out. It took a lot of work for me. It took a lot of trial and error with exercises, a lot of studying, and a lot of setbacks. But I'm glad I went through all of that because I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't. Let me know if you guys have any other video suggestions. Alright, that's all. Later.